I've been wondering, how do I get out of a creative rut or like a block,
Mm-hmm.
I guess, because
Oh, that's a question I can answer in 5 minutes. Yeah. Seriously. For the people at home, that's sarcastic. Okay. Generation and generation of musicians have had the same problem. Okay, so that's not really something can even be answered properly. I mean, but there are suggestions I can give you. First, exactly, what are the symptoms? So, what's the problem? What was okay before and is not okay right now?
I don't know. I just don't feel like anything that I'm putting up is good enough.
Okay.
It's not satisfying me.
Okay. So in this case, it's over-criticism.
Yeah.
In a sense. Okay. Good. No, not good, but because you see, there may be many possible things going on. There may be you simply have no ideas, or there may be everything I play sounds the same, or there may be, like in his case, when I play something, it doesn't sound good enough, or there may be whenever I compose a song, the song doesn't fit together, or it's too boring. It fits too much together, but there's no variation. Okay. The first step is always trying to diagnose what the problem actually is, because the solution will depend on exactly what kind of rut, whatever, that you fell in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In this case, you're being overcritic. So the solution is actually quite simple. Stop being overcritic. How do you do it? Force yourself to compose a song a day for the next month.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously. Okay. And the idea is this. I don't care if the song sucks. Okay, a song can be the most sucky song ever written on the planet. You just put it down, record a demo version of it, a rough demo. You don't need to double track anything or mix it properly. You just put it down,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're done for the day. Next day, another one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The idea is to start to get used to create stuff without being critical. The idea is this. In your mind, there are two different characters, if you want. Okay? There is the Grammy winner and the music critic. The Grammy winner is that voice in your head that everything you compose go like, that is amazing! You should compose a song about it! Music critic is everything. Get out of your mind like, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Already heard. Derivative. Okay, this kind of thing. Okay, you have both voices in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
The first step is to shut them up. Okay, both of them for the beginning. They are useful, but they have different function, and you can never have them on at the same time. Okay. The idea is this. When you write music, you should shut up completely your music critic. Completely. Just work with the Grammy winner, okay? A guy who's always enthusiastic about everything you do. I know on the back is the music critic like, listen to me, this is actually crap, don't record it, don't record it. Okay. You shut him up. Close it in a room, whatever, I don't care. You mentally has to be out. Because that's not the moment. You will have a say later. Right now you record. There is no critique on what you record. Right now you compose. No critique on what you compose. You just compose. Mm-hmm. If this is worse than Mary Had a Little Lamb, I don't care. You just compose it. Okay, that's the point. You have to have absolute confidence in that moment. That it doesn't matter the quality thing you're doing. It just needs to be put down on paper or on recording.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense? Once you're done, then you switch the position. You take your Grammy winner and you relegate them back in the backstage, and you take out the music critic and say, okay, now listen to this. Okay, it is typically done, by the way, the day after, not the same day. you're still to warm on the thing. Day after, or even 1 week after, depends on, you listen to it with fresh ears and like, okay. And the critic is allowed to say only one thing. And it's not, it sucks, but why it sucks. The critic, your mental critic will tell you, I don't like this, and you're like, that's not enough, I want to know why. Every time you cannot come up with a reason, you keep it. That's it, okay? You just keep it, trust me. If you have a reason, then you know what to fix, no? Good, then fix it. You see my point here, okay? You have to force yourself to give yourself constructive criticism, and only when it's the time. Not before. When you compose, when you write, when you have the flow of things out of you, that's the wrong moment. Because any critic would just stop whatever you're doing. You're like, this theme sucks. But you don't know. You had it in mind for 10 seconds. How can you know even? I mean, composers have made a great use of the stupidest theme ever. Okay. How stupid is that? Okay. And one of the greatest piece of music ever written.
What about Joy to the World? Literally a downward C major
Yeah,
scale.
Joy to the World, indeed. A descending C major scale. In order. No variation. Oh, that's worse than that, but anyway. Computers have been able to use any stupidest theme ever. After 10 seconds, you cannot possibly tell if it's good or not, or if something good is going to come out of it. You have to be able to work on it. So if your critic starts like, I've already heard this one, this sucks, I'm not going to be able to do anything with this. Whatever. Closing me in the back, in the back room, okay, volume down, listen to the other guy, okay, and keep going. Makes sense. You have to have those two phases. When things are coming out of you, only the enthusiastic guy. This keeps the flow coming. When it's the moment to listen back, then the other guy. That's the moment to be critical, but the only thing he's allowed to say is what is not working and why. Not this sucks. This sucks never helped anybody. Okay? If you don't like it, but you cannot point out why, listen back to it a week after. Then throw it away. Wait another week and listen back to it. In the meantime, you can compose at the start, no? Listen back to it. And one day you figure it out. And once you figure it out, correct it. And that's it, okay? Until it becomes good enough to be released. Makes sense? Some pieces are going to stay there 5 minutes, some people are going to stay there 5 years. That's fine. That's the way it is, okay? Until you're satisfied. Now, the point is this, and I want you guys to be aware of that, because this can happen also in other situations. Even when you're improvising, no music critic, please. If you wanted to criticize your improvisation, record it and then listen back to it. When you practice, same idea, okay? Well, when you practice, you may pay more attention to technical details, but it's always good to record yourself back, because this is the way you separate the two functions. But if you let your inner music critic ramble on while you compose, you start to have a problem. Because if everything you compose, the music critic goes like, this sucks, and you discard it, before or later, your unconscious are going to like, well, since whatever I produce is bad, I'm not producing anymore. It's useless, no? And then there you're screwed. There where people really, really hit the artistic crisis, like, I can't write anymore, I have no more ideas. Okay? Now, none of you has been in these long enough, honestly, to be at that situation yet. So if you think you are, I don't think you are, relax. Okay, this difficulty happens after the second album, so relax. Okay? But, or when you compose enough music for a couple of albums, essentially, because at this point you start to be there, then you just stick in there. But the point is, if you want to compose something new, you have to pass through a phase of stupid. Because you have to figure out where else to go that you don't know yet. So you have to face to face a few stupid songs. Just the way it is. Nobody has to listen to them. Okay, so compose them, see how good you can make them work, and go ahead. Okay. So that's the point. Just record, no judgment, while you record or compose. Judgment later. It takes a lot of discipline. Okay, but that's the kind of discipline you need to have to break out of these. And by the way, that's the only way to work. Otherwise, if you keep criticizing yourself too harshly while you're composing again, first of all, you dry the well, so no more ideas, and second, you get depressed. Lots of musicians fall into alcohol or drugs, etc., precisely because of this, or worse, precisely because of this. Because they keep telling themselves, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. Then it doesn't really suck, okay? And this actually makes things worse for them, because for many musicians, they just do this stuff, they think it sucks, they publish it, the album, etc. The public likes it because some of the stuff is good. And then they're like, oh, this word is completely false now. I just put out the album, everybody's buying it, they're just following the image. No, the music is good, relax. And then they can justify it to themselves, and they get into, can I say, cognitive dissonance. They think they suck, they think they're publishing horrible stuff, but people are still buying it, everything is fake, etc., etc., and then you go into deep depression. Okay? Don't go there, please. Okay? Because there have been musicians, as you know, destroying themselves this way. Don't go there. There's no need to. Okay? When you compose, don't judge yourself. When you're done composing, go and see what needs to be changed. Okay? Now, not judging yourself doesn't mean that if you have more than one alternative, you cannot take a decision. Okay? So if you're thinking, okay, what is better, these or these, that's good. You can still choose between the different alternatives. But every time your mind goes like, this sucks, or I don't like it, or shut it up, shut it up. Worst case scenario, you're composing something stupid, but you're learning a lot. Because you're still trying to make the music work. And the stupider the thing, the more you have to work to make it work, so you're learning more. The best exercise is getting the stupidest musical theme ever and try to compose a good song out of it, or an interesting song that is more than 30 seconds long out of it. Okay, maybe at the end you may not even like the result. Who cares? You learn a lot on how to make it work. See what I mean? So stop thinking that everything you compose must be released or must be great, etc. Keep composing, keep writing, keep improvising if you guys are improvising, etc., etc. Okay? Listen back to what you do. If you listen back once, the day after, or the week after, you realize that most of the stuff you wrote wasn't that bad as you thought. That take wasn't that sloppy. That melody is actually pretty interesting. Okay? Or maybe if there is a mistake somewhere, it will jump out at you. Okay? You're like, okay, actually everything works but this chord. Then you change that chord. Everything worked but this little passage here, or this note, or this other thing, or no, I only listen back to it, it doesn't work in 4/4, it will work in 3/4. Makes sense?
Yeah.
That's the only good way to work. Because there are two different functions, and your mind cannot do two things at the same time. Okay?
Yeah.
So, when you sit down, decide, are you going to write or are you going to criticize? Turn on the right inner voice and focus on that and shut up the other. Then if later in the day you want to do the other thing, do it, but not on the same piece.
Yeah.
Okay? Make sense? That answer your question?
Yes.
Pretty good.